Where's Vice Mayor Desilme? Can you find out, Ricardo?
We'll call him right now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 22nd, 2020. This is our regular council meeting, and I think it's the last council meeting before the end of the fiscal year. Hopefully this year, Madam City Manager come up with some not too bad numbers about this year deficit, especially with COVID-19. And I don't know how COVID-19 going to affect our budget. And I think in the upcoming budget, we need to do what we can to making sure that next year is better than this year. That being said, we're going to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance with Major James Mesidor, followed by invocation with Pastor William Vasquez. The Pledge of Allegiance with Major James Mesidor, followed by invocation with Pastor William Vasquez. Please.
Yes, thank you for this honor. I'm praying for the city, and thank you, Mayor, for the invitation. And I have a verse to read to you. It's going to be on 2nd of Chronicles 7:14. And it says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, they will hear me from heaven, and I will forgive them. I forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. Father, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for this opportunity to pray for the mayor and the city of North Miami. Thank you very much, and I bless the whole city and the best for this to everybody who's around and listening. And I thank you for this opportunity, Father God. Hoping that you can touch their hearts, hoping that we can seek your face way more, and way more, so we can see you again, Father God. And thank you for this opportunity. Bless the mayor, bless the city of North Miami, and thank you for the invitation. Bless your hearts. Amen and amen.
Thank you very much. And now our Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon. Will everybody put their right hands over their heart? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. See? Thank you, Pastor William Vasquez, and thank you, Major James Mesidor. And welcome, Vice Mayor Desilme.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Desilme, can you hear us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it's great to be with you guys. Hello.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Keeve? Here. Vice Mayor Desilme?
Here.
Councilman Galvin?
Here.
Councilwoman Estimé Urban?
Present.
Mayor Bieneme?
Yes.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. Madam City Manager, do we have any addition, deletions, amendments, deferral to the agenda?
Yes, the administration is going to pull tab D to the regular agenda. We'd like to pull tab D off the consent agenda to the regular agenda. We would like to have public comment on our water plan.
Thank you very much. Meaning your consent agenda will be between tab A to F to E, except tab D, right?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Mr. City Attorney, is the agenda set?
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set. You may proceed.
Thank you very much. Special presentations. COVID-19 update by Commander Benson. And at the same time, hurricane preparedness. That's when it's two updates.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, everyone watching online. Commander Brinson, Emergency Manager, City of North Miami. As an overall update for COVID-19, currently in the state of Florida, we have a total of 687,000 cases. However, the number of new cases has been slowing down. I know in North Miami, we've been down to the low single digits each day. So let's hope we continue to stay on that downward trend. Even though there are still a lot of cases, we are starting to show a slowdown. For Miami-Dade County, we have a total of 167,000 cases. A reminder, this number is from the beginning of the pandemic, all up until now. So most of these cases have already worked their way through, but it's just a running total. And finally, in North Miami, we're up to 1,331 cases with a total of 3 new cases since yesterday. We must all continue to do our part to slow down the spread of COVID-19, and all residents are reminded that in the city of North Miami, masks or face coverings are mandatory, even if you're outdoors, if social distancing is not possible. Let's all continue to do our part to slow the spread of COVID-19. And now for a brief update on the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season. There's an area of low pressure that was over South Florida yesterday. Now it's shifted down to Cuba, and it's expected to make a U-turn and come back into the Gulf this weekend. So we're keeping a close eye on that as to whether or not it's going to develop into a tropical depression or a tropical storm once it gets back into the Gulf, and whether or not it's going to come towards South Florida or north into the Gulf. So we will provide updates on that weather system as soon as they become available. And for the other storms, they're spread out along the Atlantic, and none are a threat to South Florida at this time. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have for COVID-19 and the Atlantic hurricane season. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any question? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a question. Brinson, I know a few weeks back you sent out an email, and I think you did respond to me, but a resident asked me, I just wanted to go on the record. We did have a period where the numbers seems to jump in our city, but that's because of not necessarily the cases. If you could talk about that, but it was the reporting from the Department of Health. Can you just clarify that a little bit?
Yeah, a couple of times we had situations where cases would jump up. Sometimes it would actually go backwards and go lower. And when we spoke to the health department directly, they said that basically they do audits from time to time. And that's why sometimes some cases that were attributed to North Miami, they might take them away or add new ones in. That large jump that you were referring to, I believe one day was 90 new cases. They are adding, if you recall, there was a story on the news. They had about 75,000 cases in down here that were not reported, that were just held up at the lab for whatever reason. And once those cases were a couple of months old. So once they got a hold of them and they cleared it up with the lab, I'm not going to call the lab's name since it's a public forum, but they had those 75,000 cases and the results. So they start sending those out to the various cities where they came from. So that's why we saw that one day jump. But like I said, once they found out that those cases were sitting in the lab, they were already several months old. So any impact that we had from those additional cases, we had already absorbed those and moved on from. Okay. But it was just shocking to see that one day jump of 90 cases for North Miami in one day.
Okay. I just want to let the folks know we need to be careful, although we may have 1 or 2 numbers that are up, but we got to keep in mind not everybody getting tested. This thing is still out there, it's dangerous, and I know you gave them all the proper precaution that they still need to take because there's a lot of folks. My neighbor, in fact, told me, I thought everything was back open. I could go on and have a party. They don't need no masks anymore. So we need to let the folks know it's still serious. Just because you see our numbers, you got to keep in mind, a lot of our people not getting tested for whatever reason. And there's people who may have the disease and don't know, or may be immune to it. So all of those are factors. We just need to do our part and do the masking and do what we do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Commander Brinson. before we move forward with the agenda, and this week, I know for sure there is something that need to pay attention to, especially when it's someone fighting for equal justice, someone fighting for civil rights, whether it's for women, whether it's for equality or anything. And I know in North Miami, we do care about women. That's why we have 2 council members on the dais, and we have a women city manager, a city clerk, which is a woman, and we have a CRA director and also a woman. That's mean when we talked about someone who've been fighting for equality for women rights, I think it's important that in North Miami we recognize that. That's why I think we should take a minute of silence for Justice member with Ginsburg, who passed away this week, and I know if one of the women elected official or anybody, maybe our city clerk, will have something to say about it before we observe a moment of silence in memory of Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Well, let me just take a moment to remind everyone about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her legal legacy is the right to sign a mortgage as a woman without a man, the right to have a bank account without a male co-signer, the right to have a job without being discriminated against based on your gender, the right for women to be pregnant, have kids, and continue to work, equal pay for women, and women in the military. She's also known for her getting the right for a man, widower, to be able to get their pay from losing their spouse fairly as well. So to me, she's a legal legend. I was very saddened this week by her passing. And so I'm happy to join in a moment of silence.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
I mean, as a legal colleague and somebody who was actually actively working on legal issues all weekend, for the past 4 days, we had events. And I know that these are events that somebody like RBG would have definitely supported. I think it's extremely powerful that she also passed during the holiday of Rosh Hashanah. I think that's especially significant. And while Councilwoman Keys could probably speak to this much better than I could, when someone dies during that time, it's because they're considered to be somebody of righteousness. And I think that that is true of RBG and everything that she stands for and everything that she's done. And I think it's also extremely important not to make this an issue that actually divides us, but instead we need to see that her memory is actually a true blessing for us. And so I thank you, Mayor, for acknowledging the importance of taking a moment of silence for this. And I appreciate your consideration of that. It was a hard weekend for many of us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for reminding me about it. And Councilwoman Estime, Irvin, do you want to say something?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In 2020, we have suffered yet another difficult and another devastating loss with the passing of the Supreme Justice, the notorious RBG. From the early years of her career, and many doors were open or closed for being a woman, a mother, an intellectual with a modern perspective, fathered years before their time. Thank goodness for the shift that brought her opportunities about opportunities and appropriate to her knowledge, skills, and abilities. Such opportunity allow us, before her death, to know her as a pioneering feminist who fought boldly for justice and gender equality. Supreme Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was and will always be an inspiration to me. May her legacy live through all of us. Thank you for this time.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Kawa-Keys.
You may be on mute, Councilwoman Keys.
Right, thank you. Yes, Justice Ginsburg was a champion for women's rights of equality, and it is just, it's heartbreaking at a time like this. You know, we're all are mourning her passing. I wish it could be less political. I wish we could just celebrate her life as opposed to having to go on to, you know, political issues of who's next. But that being said, it's a sad time, and she was wonderful, and we should all remember the good that she did. What a genius and champion she was. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's only the women. You know, I think all of us is because of who she was. Not only she was a pioneer, we know that she was a pioneer for gender equality throughout, you know, her distinguished career as a legal scholar, but her achievement in what she had done, she was a trailblazer, and I think a lot of the when you really read the essence of who this woman was, she stood for what's right for all of us, and I think I myself as a liberal, as someone who's a progressive, she was a champion, and I understand exactly what Councilwoman Keys was talking about. We wish this time would have been nonpartisan, but I think that train left the station 4 years ago. But we really lost a giant. So the entire community really lost someone of her stature. So not only the women as we support, but also us as men and folk who stood for equality and for people's rights. So indeed, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Councilman Galvin.
I'll just echo what everybody else says. It's a day for America.
Thank you very much. Please stand for a minute of silence. Thank you very much. Now, let's go to the consent agenda. Madam City Clerk.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through C and E constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A and C and tab E be adopted.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda, specifically tabs A through C and tab E. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab D.
Tab D, proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to adopt the water facility supply water plan developed by Tetra Tech Inc. in substantially the attached form as part of the statutory directive for the city of North Miami to satisfy state of Florida water concurrency requirements, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab D.
Thank you very much. Do we have a presentation by staff?
At this time, I'd like to recognize the Public Works Director, Mr. Pierre-Louis.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. The item that you have before you is concerning our water supply facility work plan update. And I'll give you a little background. The South Florida Water Management District has completed their 2018 Lower East Coast Water Supply Plan update. And as a water supply utility, the city has specific statutory requirements to promote consistency between our utility planning department and the 2018 plan. On October 28, 2008, the Mayor and Council adopted the city's 10-year water supply plan by Resolution R 2008-113, consistent with the requirements of Florida statutes. The Mayor and Council once again adopted the city's updated water supply facilities work plan by Resolution R 2015-1 on January 13, 2015. Now, in addition to other statutory requirements for our utility, local governments are required to update the water supply facilities work plan once again. We have a brief PowerPoint presentation for you. It will be presented by Mr. Ken Caban from Tetra Tech. The full report was also attached to the council report. However, this presentation summarizes the few key elements, which are the existing plan, the population and water demand projections, the CIP, the goals and objectives and policies of the plan. That concludes my report, and I will turn it over to Mr. Ken Caban.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre-Louis. Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, city staff, and residents. So, like Mr. Pierre-Louis said, this is our updated water supply facilities work plan. Next slide, please. Just briefly, what we're going to talk about on this short presentation. What are the water supply facility work plan requirements? What have been the historical updates for that water supply facility work plan? The recent Lower East Coast Water Supply Plan update. Some status changes or status of the current water supply plan, and then some pending actions. So why and when do we need a water supply facilities work plan? The Florida statutes require that the city and all other water suppliers update their water supply facilities work plans 18 months, within 18 months of the South Florida Water Management District adopting a new Lower East Coast Water Supply Plan. So the district did that at the end of 2018, November 8th, 2018. And the city started to do what's required and update the water supply facilities work plan. However, as everyone knows, there has been some delays due to what's going on with COVID, and many of the agencies, the reviewing agencies, everyone's a little bit delayed. So, but no penalties are going to be assessed or anything like that. So, next slide, please. So, on the city side, the water supply facilities work plan was originally developed in 2007 as a requirement of Senate Bill 444 and Senate Bill 360. In 2015, it was updated. Tetra Tech did that update in 2015, and we updated the water supply facilities work plan. In 2018, the district updated the Lower East Coast water supply plan, requiring that the city once again update the water supply plan, and that's what we're doing today. Or not today, but ongoing now. Next slide, please. So some of the key updates, the planning horizon has shifted. Obviously, back in 2015, we were going up to 2030. It's now been shifted to 2035. There were some population projection updates that are done through the Florida Office of Economic and Demographic Research, and then also working with the district and also with Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department. the city has been experiencing a lower per capita usage of water, which has benefited the city, water conservation efforts. And that has allowed the city to defer some very costly water, capital improvements, namely the reverse osmosis treatment plant and then the water supply associated with that plant, which would be the Floridan wells. And then some of the improvements that the city has completed over the years includes the well rehabilitation of the Biscayne wells and the water treatment plant filters rehabilitation. Some of the other improvements that the city intends on doing are water line replacements. And then the other water supply plan component is continuing purchases from the Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department. Next slide, please. So what's the status of the water supply facilities work plan? It's been drafted, it's been updated, and it's been submitted to the reviewing agencies, which include the City of North Miami, the South Florida Water Management District, Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department, and the Planning Commission, as well as the Planning Commission. We have received comments from all of those agencies, and we've addressed those comments, and that's why it's before the commission today. Next slide, please. So just a brief summary of the actual water supply facilities work plan. It requires a 10-year planning horizon. We're going to 2035. It requires, increased coordination of land use and water supply planning concurrency. And it requires addressing future water supply needs, for redevelopment and development. So again, the planning horizon is from 2019 to 2035. And some, statistical numbers included in our report is the population of just under 90,000, projected growth in 2025 of 97,000 and 103,000 in 2035. The city's permitted allocation is 9.3 million gallons a day, which serves about 60% of the users, and then another 40% is purchased from the Water and Sewer Department. And then, like I mentioned earlier, some of the projects that the city has already completed include the well rehabilitation program, as well as the replacement of the filters at the treatment plant. Next slide, please. The last water use permit renewal was completed in 2010, and it allocated 9.3 million gallons from the Biscayne Aquifer, and then almost 8 million gallons a day from the Floridan Aquifer, which is what was able to be delayed because of the water conservation. So the water supply facilities work plan has to be updated, and it has to be included and adopted as part of the city's comprehensive plan, and this is one of those steps. Based on the water demand projections, the city has developed plans for provision of potable water over the next 10 years and beyond for groundwater supply, infrastructure, and conservation. It's basically continuing what it's been doing and been doing successfully. Next slide, please. So pending actions for this water supply facilities work plan are today's meeting and approval. We will then transmit it to the Department of Economic Opportunity, where we will solicit comments from them. We will revise that water supply facilities work plan, and then it will go through the comp plan amendment process and have a first and second reading, where it will be adopted formally, and then we will transmit it to the Department of Economic Opportunity. And at that point, they will typically send a letter back saying they've accepted it, and the process is complete until the next Lower East Coast water supply plan is amended again. With that, I believe that was the last slide. I'd like to apologize for my sweating. My air conditioner is broken today. So just my bad luck, but if anyone has any questions, we can take them now.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. First, public hearing is open on tab D.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending this afternoon's virtual regular council meeting. This meeting will allow live public comment by attendees. Public hearing will take place upon announcement by the chair of the meeting, Mayor Philippe Bien-Aimé. And from that time, attendees will be able to virtually raise their hand, and this should function similarly to lining up at the podium. Attendees cannot leave their hand raised throughout the entire meeting, so if you raise your hand before an item is read, it will be removed. Do not forget to state your full name and complete address for the record. And remember, you will have up to 2 minutes to make your comment. Thank you in advance for your understanding and your feedback. If you are participating by phone, to raise your hand, you will have to press *9. Mayor, I'm going through the list of attendees now to ensure that there are no hands raised on this item. Mayor, at this time, there are no hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Council members, if there is no questions, can I get a motion to approve it?
Yes, I have a question.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Go ahead, Council. Your question.
Right, so I second it, but I still have a question.
That's fine. Yes.
It was said during the presentation that there were concerns. There were concerns or comments that were made by the different agencies, by the Planning Commission, and all the other committees. I wanted to know what were the questions were the concerns that were, and how were they addressed?
Thank
I
you
guess if
very
you're
much.
asking a question of the consultant, I'd ask that they would,
Is it Ken that was in the
back?
Hi, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Sorry, Councilwoman Estime Irvin, but you broke up a little bit, but I think I heard the majority of your question, and it related to what were the comments that the agencies had. So there were multiple agencies. I also have on the meeting my project engineer that mainly worked on this, but a lot of the questions related to coordination between population projections, current users, things like that, related to how many people are served by, let's say, WASD versus the city of North Miami. That's typically what they look at. There isn't, Chris, are you able to add a little bit briefly there? I don't think we can go through all the comments, but I think we can give you a summary of some of the major comments, like that one related to population projection. Summary of some of the major comments, like that one related to population projection.
Yes, I see Mr. Christopher Zavatsky.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman, for your question. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So in addition to looking at data, comparing that across the lower east coast of Florida, the South Florida Water Management District looks at water that's being shared across the different utilities. They're also looking at the capital improvements that are planned, and there were actually no changes in that regard. So that is one thing that they're key in on as well. And they do also look at some of the policies and making some updates. So there were some revisions. And they do also look at some of the policies and making some updates. So there were some revisions.
Make sure you mute your microphone if you're not speaking on the item.
Great. Hopefully I'm back now. So the only other item I'd mentioned there that's of interest is that the policies that are in the document, some of those changed over the years. So there's an update also presented there.
Are we set? Yes, Councilwoman Esime Irvin.
No, they will.
You okay? Ricardo, can you fix the sound if, can I hear motion on the item?
I'm okay. There was already a motion and I seconded.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve the item at tab D. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Urban. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question, but not necessarily in terms of the item that just passed. Whistler, I think a couple months ago we had a discussion on this the water plant, and I asked your office to coordinate with me so that I could get some information on the status of what's going on. Can you please make sure that we kind of get that going?
Absolutely, will do, Mr. Councilman.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next item, I think is tab F.
Proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, approving the execution of a first option to renew professional services agreement in substantially the attached form between the City of North Miami and Brown & Brown of Florida, Inc., doing business as T.R. Jones and Company for the provision of excess workers' compensation insurance coverage at a cost not to exceed $162,082, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab F.
Thank you very much.
So this is our,
Yes.
this is our workman's excess workers' comp insurance coverage that we would be renewing on our first option to renew. Put it before the council because the amount is about $162,000. But otherwise, this would be in the normal course of business.
Thank you very much. Do you have any presentation? And
No,
Karen? Oh, okay.
no presentation.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab F.
If you would like to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. Or if you are participating by phone, please press *9 now. Mayor, we do not have any hands raised on this item.
Thank you very much. Council members, any questions before we move? If none, can I have a motion to approve tab F?
So moved.
Second.
Yes,
I
Madam
have a
Clerk.
motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab F. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Desilme. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Tab G.
Tab G, proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to execute the 5-year interlocal agreement between the City of North Miami City and the Miami-Dade County Stormwater Utility for stormwater management in substantially the attached form to establish mutual responsibilities for the maintenance of shared stormwater systems by the city and the utility, providing an effective date and all other purposes. Tab G.
Thank you. Council, this item is to execute a 5-year interlocal agreement with the City of Miami-Dade County Water. As you know, we share some of these systems, and so we have an agreement for mutual maintenance of it. It is going to expire at the end of this month, my understanding, and we are getting ready to start a new 5-year interlocal agreement. We don't have any presentation, but if you have any questions, Whistler Pierre Louis can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab G.
If you would like to speak on this item, please raise your hand at this time. If you are participating by phone, please press *9 to raise your hand. Mayor, at this time, we do not have any hands raised.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is now closed. Question from the dais or a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Vice Mayor Desilme to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Now it's tab
H, proposed first reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, providing for a text amendment to chapter 29 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances by amending Article 5, Division 21, entitled Art in Public and Private Places, specifically at section 5-2101F, entitled General, to modify the locational limits for murals, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, codification, and for an effective date. Tab H.
Thank you very much. Good. Is there a presentation?
We'll give a presentation on this LGR amendment.
Thank you. For the record, Tanya Wilson with Community Planning and Development. This item is a request for a text amendment to the city's land development regulations. I'll walk you through the presentation. Next slide, please, Ricardo. So we're recommending a text amendment to section 5-2101, subsection F of the land development regulations. That's a section of our code that governs murals, location of murals, as well as regulations that oversee the mural provision of our land development regulations. This ordinance is being sponsored by Councilwoman Estimé Irvin. And it looks to adjust the limits, the current limits that we have listed within the land development regulations. As you know, within the code, murals are allowed within the C3 zoning districts, also areas of the Arts Overlay District, and then finally the C2BW district along Northeast 123rd Street. If approved, this amendment would allow for the extension of the murals within the PCD district. That's extending it from Northeast 135th Street up to Northeast 143rd Street, and that's along the Dixie Highway corridor. This is the first reading for this text amendment. It requires 2 readings. Staff is recommending a second reading in October. Next slide, please, Ricardo. And you'll see the graphic on the screen. A second reading is recommended for October 27th on this item. Staff is recommending approval of this item at this time. If the council has any questions.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab H. Public hearing open on tab H.
There are no hands raised at this time, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Council members, questions? Or a motion to approve it, please?
Move.
Second. Thank you.
Councilwoman Estimé Irvin, you have to log in?
Yeah, I'm having some difficulties, so I'm trying to get going here, but yes.
We move the other one then.
I'm working on it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. And there's a motion, a second. Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Keys. Councilwoman Estimé Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desume, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Bienaimé, how do you vote?
Yes.
The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Now, citizen forum.
If you would like to speak for a citizens forum, please remember to raise your hand.
You don't have any previews? Emails?
I do. I was going to set a timer, but can't get to it, so. To honorable members of the City of North Miami City Council, Cheryl Riggett Mark, 13930 Northwest 14th Avenue, Miami. I have read in depth the application for a conditional use permit for the property located at 13855 Northwest 17th Avenue. Folio number 06-2123-000-0060, and my initial comments were included in the Planning Commission September 1st meeting for approving the resolution. It is my understanding that my comments were included in the minutes of the meeting. This property was formerly zoned as R3 and was changed several years ago to PD3 on North Miami's future land use. 2, on the north and east sides of the property is a quiet residential neighborhood of single-family homes, the majority located around a swimmable 26-acre spring-fed lake. What will be done on the north side of the property to keep the lake private, as there is existing foliage on the underdeveloped Northwest 139th Street right-of-way between Northwest 15th Avenue and Northwest 17th Avenue. Also, we are concerned about the liability factor if a child climbs the north fence and falls into the lake. 3, on the east side of the property, that's Northwest 15th Avenue, the Mitchell Lake homeowners have requested more than just a chain link fence and small trees to be installed in order to help reduce the noise levels and to enhance the aesthetic view of the proposed development, along with securing the privacy and security from the basketball courts, soccer field, and play areas during school hours. What is the developer considering when they say, quote unquote, large landscape buffers? 4, who will be running the community medical clinic? Since it is open to the public, will it be open on weekends? What will be the hours of operation, and how will the area be kept safe and secure? 5, will there be a security guard on premises during the school and medical clinic hours? In the student drop-off and pickup areas, who will control the safe movement of the cars and buses? 6, how will the increased traffic and noise problem be handled in the surrounding Mitchell Lake homeowners area? Half of the students will be bused in, parentheses 30 buses, and one half of the students, parentheses 716, will be dropped off, and 138 full-time employees will be working at the development. People will have a difficult time turning left out of the development onto Opa-locka Boulevard. Therefore, most drivers will drive north to Northwest 143rd Street and then turn south onto Northwest 14th Avenue. The rest will be contained in the record. We do not have any hands raised for public comment at this time, Mayor, and that was the only previously submitted public comment.
Thank you very much. Citizen forum. Citizens forum is now closed. Council reports. Who wanna go first? Councilman Galvin.
Thank you. I'll just want to submit the name of Evan Shields as my nominee to the Board of Adjustment. Again, that application was submitted a few days ago. He lives in my district. Evan Shields for the Board of Adjustment.
Thank you very much. And Madam Clerk, do you have the list in front of you where you can tell us who have vacancy? Making sure.
Yes. Are you speaking about the Board of Adjustment? Yeah, sure. Give me 1 second, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I also have an appointee as well, Patricia Doracin.
Mayor, would it be okay if we just went one by one to keep some order?
Yes, we're gonna do. Tell us who have vacancy first before we make it good.
Okay. So we have one at-large vacancy. We have an alternate vacancy. Councilman Galvin, Councilwoman Keys, Councilwoman Estime Irvin, all three have vacancies.
Okay. Okay, at this time, okay, thank you very much. Now, can I hear a motion on Councilman Galvin appointment? What's the name again, Councilman Galvin?
For Evan Shields. Like Captain America has
I second
Evan
that.
Shields.
If it's Madam Clerk, can you record the
Is there a
vote?
second? Is there a second?
I second that.
Seconded already.
Well, we couldn't hear you. I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to appoint Mr. Evan Shields to the Board of Adjustment. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. Your motion?
I'd like to appoint Patricia Dirasen Longchamp to the Board of Adjustment, please.
And I second that.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to appoint Patricia Longchamp Deosanga to the Board of Adjustments. The motion was seconded by Mayor Philippe Yeneme. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Council report, Councilwoman Carol Keys.
Thank you. I would like to thank FarmShare and Badia Spices, along with our staff and police for providing a great distribution this morning. And kickoff for Hispanic Heritage Month went very smoothly. A lot of good food. Nobody was turned away. So I want to thank staff and excellent distribution. Also, I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy, and sweet New Year. Last Friday, last weekend, we celebrated the Jewish New Year, and Sunday night we will be observing Yom Kippur, which is a night of atonement for transgressions, and also it is a time for forgiveness. So, wishing everybody Lashana Tova. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Irvin.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers who came out to help Mr. Georges Monistim in District 3. These volunteers were diverse, and some were young as 10 years old, and some were supervised by their parents. I would also like to thank Steve Pizzillo. He came out to volunteer as well. I would like to thank the city departments who were vital in prepping the home for the project. Secondly, I'd like to just again remind us about the census. The deadline is on the 30th, so it's quickly approaching. Please don't forget to complete your census. District 3, you know what to do. Please, please, please don't embarrass us. But I'm talking to all of North Miami. Please, this is very serious. We need you to fill out your census. And I believe that's all that I have. Thank you very much.
Vice Mayor Desjardins.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone to echo what Councilwoman Irving said about the census. It's really, really important right now. We're trying to hit 62% from where we were the last 10 years ago. A lot of activities were held over the weekend. I participated in most of them, and we have a tremendous teams of folks out there doing the best that they can to ensure those who haven't filled out the census are doing it. So again, thank you, council members, and we all have been doing pretty well, all of the districts. So I just want to put that plugged in. In addition to, I know we have the budget that's coming up on Thursday. I've received some calls from residents about that. I just want to tell folks to go online and see whatever that we put out there. So if they have their questions, they could reserve them until then. Other than that, that's basically it. Thank you, Mr. Badge. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk.
Well, not to belabor the point, but remember the census deadline is September 30th. We had a really great census carnival caravan this past Sunday, and I'm still exhausted from it. And so I want to thank all, the residents who came outside of their homes, all the residents who stopped at supermarkets and filled out their census, the excellent teams of canvassers that North Miami has out there knocking on doors. Just thank you to you all for really making sure that resources do come back to the city of North Miami. In addition to that, I want to wish everyone a happy National Voter Registration Day. And so I encourage you all to celebrate this day by pledging to register to vote, registering to vote yourself, updating your voter registration status, checking your voter registration status, and maybe getting 10 friends and family to go ahead and vote. Remember that the deadline to register to vote is October 5th, so today is not your last opportunity, but definitely I encourage you to participate in National Voter Registration Day in some capacity. Remember that you can vote from the comfort and safety of your own home. So please be sure to request a vote by mail ballot as soon as possible. And once you get it, return it as soon as possible. Of course, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. We always take opportunities to honor the different cultures and contributions of people who make up our nation. But of course, this month we honor the cultures and contributions of both Hispanic and Latino Americans as we celebrate their heritage, which is rooted in all Latin American countries. And of course, this comes around the celebration of the anniversaries of independence of 5 Latin American countries, where you have Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. And of course, Mexico, Chile, and Belize also celebrate their independence days during this period. And Dia de la Raza for October 12th in Mexico is a very significant holiday. In addition to that, Shana Tova to everyone who celebrates. I do wish that this is a sweet, happy, and healthy new year for you all. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Madam City Clerk. I don't know if anyone has the flyer about all the events happening this month for Hispanic Heritage Month. If you can remind the public what we're going to have this month for Hispanic Heritage Month. I don't know if Councilwoman Keys has it, but in the meantime, let's hear from the city attorney. Do you have any report?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Keys, do you have the flyer in front of you? Can you, for this month, what we're going to have? Okay, maybe the city manager will have it, or after report, you will be able to talk about it. Madam City Manager, a report? Do you have any report?
No, we don't have a report. No.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, do you have the flyer in front of you for Hispanic Heritage Month? Carol, do you have it?
I have it. Yes. We have a lot of events. They're all virtual. I've posted on Facebook. The city should be posting it online. Several events. Today was our food distribution. We have something presented by MOCA, Havana, Haiti, 2 cultures.
When is that event?
That's Tuesday, October 13th at 2 p.m. I think everybody's really going to have to get onto the website or watch. Next, we're going to have our annual art unveiling and proclamation. Natasha Perdomo, the local artist. That is going to be at our next council meeting, Thursday. What is today? We've already been through Wednesday, Vamos a Mexico. Let's visit Mexico. That's at 4:00. Tomorrow, that's a hands-on cooking demonstration. Wednesday, September 30th, I will be reading What's in the Name, Alma, and that is the library. And I believe Johnson and Wales is going to be doing a virtual event with the Chamber of Commerce. So all of this will be on the website, and I'll ask PIO to send out the flyer immediately because it just pretty much got finalized yesterday.
Thank you very much. So anybody can go on the city's website.
My Facebook page is open to the public. You can get on there. It was just posted yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If nobody has nothing to say, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Thank you very
I have a
much.
motion made by Councilwoman Keys to adjourn, seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is 3 and we are adjourned.
Thank you very much. See you on Thursday, 6 p.m. for the second budget hearing. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Bye.